Hello, hello. Hope you can hear me. Um, as you guys know, my name is Edward Callahan. I'm the Minister of Music at Preston Avenue Baptist Church. Thank you so much, Rabbi Katz and Pastor Stanley, for this opportunity. Um, thank you, Anthony, for that amazing speech. That was very touching and heartfelt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming from, I'm originally from Michigan, and my mom always used to tell me, you know, you're Black, you're a man, you're a Christian. There are so many strikes and there's going to be so many attacks that are going to come your way just because of that. And I never really understood what she meant, but I always kept that in the back of my head. And now that I'm a lot older and I'm living on my own, I've been here for 10 years, so I guess I'm an official New Yorker. But as I've been here, I've been through so many different things. You know, even in my college education, you know, as you all know, I graduated with my degree in piano performance, and I've been playing the piano since I was 5. I always had the dream of being a concert pianist. I always wanted to play at Carnegie Hall and to do these things. And I had a professor who just would tell me, you know, you're never going to do that, you know, just to give that up. And I had to fight so hard for my degree. The point is that they wanted me to get a degree in gospel music. You know, they said, you're great at gospel, you know, you should just get your degree in that. And I tried to explain in the best way that, you know, I've been working in the gospel field for such a long period of time where, you know, I don't need a degree in the gospel field to continue working in it. But I needed more experience. I needed that piano performance degree, which is one of the hardest degrees to get in the music field. So, you know, my professor would literally walk into some of my other classes and say, you know, you need to turn this assignment in or I'm not going to pass you if you need this to graduate. Or, you know, I would post something on Facebook when I made my Lincoln Center debut saying, you know, this was great. I can't wait to play at Carnegie Hall. And then my lesson is just 2 hours of why I'll never play there. You know, there were other pianists in the college that were not as good as me, but they still received these opportunities. They performed at Steinway Hall. They did these, they won these awards that really should have went to me, you know, in the nicest way possible. I was clearly the most advanced pianist in the school. I was a tutor. I, you know, was on the honor society. The president would literally call me to come and play for the school events. So learning these types of things and starting to really have to fight was really tough. I always did my best to stay out of trouble. But being a Black man in America, you have all types of friends. You know, I have friends that are doing life in prison. I have friends that I was in band with that have been shot and killed. You know, there's such a broad spectrum of my life, and a lot of people think, you know, oh, well, you're not going to have that problem. You're never going to have to worry about that. But as you can see what's happening now, you have to really reassess, and you have to say, you know what? You have to think, okay, what will happen if I'm in this situation? What can I do differently? Will there be a different outcome because it's me, you know, or do they see a classical pianist? I'm sure they don't see that. You know, do they see someone who's toured Italy and has a #1 album? They don't see that. They just see another Black boy, another Black man, and that's all they need. You know, we've seen these police protests, the peaceful protests, and we've seen how police have reacted over and over again. Even now, not just on Black bodies, but there was a video today of a white man who was, you know, that we saw, who fell over, and the officer said, oh, I tripped and fell. You know, and now they're fired, and now, you know, but these are the types of things that have been happening to us for so long. And, you know, with George Floyd, this sparked so much more attention to other races and to other ethnicities, which is really great. I've never seen so many companies and and foundations, you know, standing in solidarity, which is huge. Even today, there was a classical radio station, WQXR, that put a post up and said, you know, we're standing with you guys. And I had to comment and say, you know, this is great, but why don't you play some of the Black classical musicians that are performing? Why don't you play some of these Black artists and composers? You know, when my album went #1, I sent emails to them, I Facebooked, I Instagrammed, you know, that I would love to just get something played or to speak. And I received no response. And today, as I commented that, there were so many other people. There were some white people, there were some women who were saying, hey, this is not fair. Why isn't his music played? He should have, I want to hear his album right now. And they emailed me immediately. Immediately, they emailed me and said, hey, here's my information, you know, check this out. And now we're in the process of making it happen. You know, so this is great because, you know, what you can do to help is bigger than what we can do, if that makes sense. Using your voice will go so much further because to us, it just seems like we're just complaining, you know, but we've known about this before George Floyd. There was a young boy, Tamir Rice, 12 years old, playing in the park with a toy gun, and the officer shot and killed him. There was Sean Bell, shot at 50 times on his wedding day. You know, I mean, the list, Michael Brown, there was Walter Scott, and there was a member of our church who was related to him. And Walter Scott was running away from the police and was still shot. You know, so, I mean, this is a shirt of the Central Park Five, the exonerated five, who dealt with, you know, with what Anthony deals with police brutality and plea deals and sending them off and then giving them a record so they can't vote or so jobs are tougher. You know, there's a book called The New Jim Crow, by Michelle Alexander, which talks about, you know, slavery all the way to mass incarceration, how all of this, you know, is tied together. So it's really tough. I try to do my job, you know, I try to just, you know, be as good as I can. I live right near a precinct. You know, there's plenty of time where the officers are in the cars kind of following, you know, and I wear these types of shirts almost every day. Don't shoot, you know, I'm always kind of wearing these types of shirts. But it's really, really sad that we have to go through these things time and time again. And another thing is, you know, as we say, Black Lives Matter, that is not a diss to anyone else. That is not a diss, that's not anything negative, because most people will respond with all lives matter. But the issue is, if the all lives matter, Black Lives Matter should be included in that.
That's true.
So there's no reason for someone to get so defensive when this is an issue. You know, there's so many incidents with police brutality that African Americans face. You know, they're convicted, they're sent 3 times. There's so many statistics, you know, so this is a huge problem. And now this is why people are doing the riots. You know, we don't condone the rioting and the looting and things like that, but people are so angry and they want to just be heard, because we've been doing this, we've been peacefully protesting, like Colin Kaepernick. You know, he put his knee down just to peacefully protest during the national anthem. And if you know all 3 stanzas, you know the last stanza of the national anthem, which was written by John Francis Scott, who was a slave master.
That's right.
You know, so when you really research and understand why he knelt, it wasn't just, you know, I don't like America, I don't like the flag. This was a way to stand and say, you know what, I can't stand for a country that won't stand with me. You know, I can't fight and I can't, you know, do all of this if I'm still being treated unfairly. So, you know, there's so many ways to support us, just to use your voice. If you have someone in your family that may not understand, just to kind of tell them. You know, there was also another book called Raising White Kids, and I read it from a white man's perspective of what to tell his kids, and how to, you know, how things are going on. So those were some really good books. You know, but I really love the synagogue. I love what you guys are doing. For those that don't know, this piano was yours. And Rabbi Katz and Miriam and everyone was like, you know, if you need this, you can take it. And I got it and got it tuned, and they moved it up to 5 flights. I said, this is going to help so much, and it really has helped so much. I'm on it at least 7 hours a day. So I just wanted to also thank you guys for that. And you guys have supported me so much. You know, actually my physical copies came in today as well, my physical CDs. So, you know, if you ever want any of those, we can talk about that later, but I'll autograph them and send them. But, you know, being a Black man in America is really tough. So just to see someone, if you see a Black man on the street, tell them we're with you, we're standing with you, you know, to be encouraged. Anything like that, it can really make a big difference. If you see a Black man being harassed by the cops, or if there's an altercation, you just standing there and saying, hey, are you okay? Hey, what's your badge number, officer? Hey, this, you know, this isn't right. That can totally change the situation around. So, you know, that's just my thoughts. I'll just play a little bit of We Shall Overcome, since we talked about Martin Luther King. I'll just play a couple lines and then I'll go on.